Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's week ahead video. This is a collective look at the energy that's going to come up this week. So just know whenever you're watching it, it's the right time for you, even if you go back and have a look at the other ones, which I encourage you to do because there's some really good messages that come out during these week ahead readings. So I need to start with a bit of a debrief and then we'll get on to more positive stuff. But this previous week, Diane, did I call it, with that invoking Scorpio energy video, it was nuts. I haven't experienced anything like this in a very long time. And what Spirit wants you to know that if you are going through experiences that are very difficult and very trying on yourself and your energy, that's because it wants you to, I don't want to call it a test. I hate calling it a test because it gets people's defenses up. But Spirit wants you to see how far you've come. If you've got a situation that is kind of similar, you'd have to look at your patterning and repetitive. Say you always get sabotaged at work or whatever, which is kind of what happened to me. And it's been quite a few years since that's happened. And even now, it's still kind of keeping me up at night while I'm processing what's happening. I can see the spiritual aspects for what happened to me. But I actually handled it with grace. Not to say that in the past I haven't handled it with grace before, but without knowing all those spiritual components and aspects, I didn't understand, it's hard not to fall into that victim mentality when you're younger and people sabotage you and get you fired, say. You blame yourself, don't you? Or you go, why do they do this to me? Like, you can't understand why people would do that to you because you're not that type of person. That's why you can't understand. So the more we're ascending, the more these, I guess, challenges will come up because the darkness is trying to control the light, and we're starting to get a bit of a balance going, and the darkness doesn't like that. So these situations from the past may rise again. Just notice it, accept what's happening with love. That's going to be the key, and it's very hard to do, but you're way ahead. When you're awakened, you're way ahead of the game, because it is a game. We're just playing a role in this lifetime. So it isn't intended to really attack you. We're just playing the game. So if we can see the spiritual aspects to that, then we can actually let go of some of the pain. And it's also tied in with whatever pattern comes up for you now. It's looking to be released once and for all. So if you can do the work, and all of a sudden, the universe is showing me that I should be doing coaching again. So if you guys really want to work through that, it's a personal thing. It's not something I can just say on one video. There's a lot that goes into psychologically processing that, and spiritually as well. So I do the coaching with your guides to help you get through this time. So that's an option. Otherwise, just keep watching these videos. But they really want you to notice how far you've come, how you're doing things differently, how much more knowledge you've accrued since certain situations have been happening to you in your life. That needs to be the focus instead of that victim mentality, which we can fall into. The why me? Why is this happening to me? It's not fair. This always happens to me. Those kind of thought processes. It needs to go into actually, I'm empowered. I've come a long way. I can handle any situation. Yes, this situation upsets me or it's challenging for me, but there's nothing I can't get through. I am wise. I have so much wisdom. I have so much knowledge. I've gained so much experiences. I'm not that scared little inner child anymore. And that's really going to help you get through this time. So I've asked Archangel Michael to join us because the energy has been very rough, and I work with him a lot. And especially when I'm going through really hard times and really tough energy, he's here to assist you as well. So please just call on him. So we'll get some messages from him in the end. So let's see what this week ahead has in store for us. So we've got Venus, we've got the energy of the 11th house, which is Aquarius. Cancer energy, so this is where we're really going deep into our emotions. We've got 6th house, so yeah, work, health, duty area of your life. So this could be the area that you're actually experiencing this in. Aries, that's the fiery energy, and this is like the combusting energy. This can sometimes be jumping in and acting without thinking. Some of you need to do this, surprisingly. That's what the message that's coming up. Some of you, if you're so used to jumping in head first without thinking first, perhaps don't. So do the opposite to what you would normally do. Sit back and wait for clarity before you move forward. So this Cancer energy, it's very emotional, it's very sensitive, it's very deep. And this is just, to me, screams, stay in your humble abode, stay in your own energy while you're recalibrating certain situations in your life or certain energies. Whatever you don't want to attract, look at that. So it's in the 11th house. So this is where the cosmos grants wishes, luck, friends, and social occasions. So there may be new friends coming into your life that can help you if you're experiencing any harsh energies or problems. There's a lot of soul contracts which are being, I'm hearing, renewed and redeveloped and rescheduled almost. It's like there were ones that were set off somewhere untethered in the future, and now it's coming in because we need it, because this energy is trying to, you know, the dark works with the light. If we didn't have the dark trying to push us into a diamond, how would we sparkle? So just don't see darkness as a bad thing, even though, you know, you can look at the energy and the situations and think, oh my God, such disgusting behavior. Yeah, it is. But look at how it's forced you over the years to get you to where you are now. And that's transmuting that energy into a higher vibrational energy. An expansive energy instead of a contracting energy. Seeing a different perspective, the darkness is aiding you to be the best version of yourself. But first we have to feel things deeply. If you're avoiding feelings, you need to feel this deeply, because you can't get to the bottom and resolve anything if you're going to ignore it or just go, oh well. Like, you can't do that. We all need to go deeper at this time. So we've got the Venus energy here. The part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. So some of you are really going to receive a nice little surprise, because you can't go through hard times and not receive anything. And that's not why we transmute our negative emotions and energies, right? It can be a reason, but that's not why we're doing it. We want to be happy and fulfilled. That's more authentic to your soul. Your soul doesn't really care about riches or fame or money or a new yacht or whatever. It might care, well, not might, it wants freedom, and say having a yacht is part of freedom, because you would feel peaceful, relaxed, sitting on your yacht, feel like there's not a care in the world. So that's a part of the freedom. So it's not about the tangible things so much, it's the experience and how you feel. And that's what you're calling in by working through what you're working through. So there could be changes in your household as well as where you're working and what you're doing, your daily routines, how you come across in the world, exchanging worrying behavior for expansive experiences, you know, and like she's doing yoga, exchanging sitting on the couch for first thing in the morning, you're doing a new spiritual practice of yoga. You know, exchanging what doesn't work with something that does. Like, I could sit there and worry all morning about what's happened to me. And yeah, it comes up at night and wakes me up. That's part of my 3 planets in Virgo, my analytical mind. And it's like, no, we must solve this. I'm like, calm down, brain. And it's like, no, I won't let you sleep until we figure this out. You know, and that's super annoying for me. But in the morning, I get back in alignment. I write my gratitude list. I do my scripting. I start my day off well. Incorporate yoga into that. It's switching up those worrying practices for expansive practices. I'm gonna write that down. Don't mind me. You can too. Worrying practices. Change for expansive practices. Okay. I feel a release in that. Let's see what else we got going on. Wow, the Empress. And see, she's about attracting, not chasing. She's about sitting pretty and letting the universe give to her. Not fighting for what you want, but almost a relaxed expecting. Expecting good things to happen, expecting the things that you want. Just literally sitting pretty and letting it come to you. If you're a fighter, if one of your cycles is to fight, overwork, overachieve, then you're asked to be doing the opposite and to tune into that Empress energy and literally just kind of sit pretty. And she's all about self-love, and she knows her worth. She doesn't accept crappy offers she doesn't want. If you're the Empress and you're accepting these, you know, say you do readings for a living, but you know you're like the Empress and you're like, I'm just worth so much more. You don't do $20 readings because that's a limiting belief in yourself. It's funny because on this card it says time to take action, which is not what I'm getting from her at all. It says the power of creativity, success that allows you for a life of luxury. It's about sitting and receiving instead of doing too much. And if you alternatively is someone that doesn't do anything, meditate and wait for guided action. So we've got the Two of Winter here. This is about indecisive energy. Some of you might feel stuck because you're not making a decision. You can make a decision to do something, or you can make a decision not to. And know that you're never going to make a wrong decision because you're learning every single time. I'm just hearing that strongly. If that's what's holding you back, there's no right or wrong decision for you. It's just making a decision, and that's what keeps you stuck. I'll give an example. For instance, one of my friends just split up with, it was a new relationship, but he just split up with her. And he's not the best at communicating. And I'm like, you know, I can help you. From what you've told me, we can script a message using his words, because he struggles to get it out, and you can send it to her, and that way you have closure and the ball's in her court because he wants to get it to her. But he doesn't know what is actually going on with her. She's just shut down. And I'm like, I'm your girl. That's what I help people with. So we're doing that. But he is indecisive. He's like, yes, I want to, just not yet. But the thing is, he's going to have all those stories going around in his head until he makes a decision just to send, you know, a message. Putting it all on the table, being vulnerable, being honest, being authentic. And that way, that's how you get closure, right? And people don't realize that's not about changing someone else's mind, because that's why people want closure. Because subconsciously, they're like, I want to manipulate this because I want the person back, or I want what they took from me, or whatever it is. That's what people think closure is. It isn't. And that's why you can never get it. You need to look at, why do you want what you want? If someone doesn't say, if it's a person, if someone doesn't want you, why would you want that? You know, same for if you apply for a job. If they don't want you, then, you know, stuff them. That's not for you. There's something better coming along. Why would you want it, you know? Why do we get attached to things that aren't for us? Because if it was for us, it would be with us. So it's never in your highest good. You'll never get closure, say from a toxic relationship. They will never see your side, but people try to fight for it. Like, oh, if we just spoke. No, it's ended. The universe has ended it. Make a decision to move on. Don't get stuck. So this could be like a repetitive relationship cycle for some of you in any situation. We've got King of Winter. There's a lot of winter energy here. And then we end with the Ace of Summer. So it's not all bad. So we've got King of Winter, knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded, unemotional. Get advice from someone professional and objective. public speaking, unemotional relationships. So for some of you, you may be engaging in relationships where you don't get what you want, but you perhaps would hold on to these relationships, friendships, whatever, situationships, because that's what you've experienced in the past. Perhaps you didn't get that love or confirmation from a parent, and therefore you're trying to get that, replay that with your, say sexual relationships, because our inner child is always seeking that out until we heal ourselves. So if you're struggling with this cycle, then you need to get some advice from someone professional. We've got 10 of Winter. See, this will be the end of the cycle. The resolution of difficulties, a weight lifted off your shoulders, the end of an addiction or codependency. See, I feel like this is codependency. And this happens in friendships too. Because of my high vibrational energy, people get really attached to me and they glom on, and it's very exhausting for me. And this could happen to you too. But we just need to all look within, and even, I think, okay, how did I play a part in this situation? If someone's like just desperate for my attention or energy, I gave them too much in the beginning. I'm like, okay, I'll take responsibility for my part. That's how I've continued this cycle of uneven energy exchange and attracting someone that's not, as awakened as myself. It's not about being better, it's just about who's more awakened. It is what it is. But the Queen of Winter here, strong, patient, self-sufficient, funny. This could be you. Oh, look what it says. Let go of people or things that no longer serve you. Now's the time to focus on your career. Oh my God, feeling this so hard. Unmarried or divorced individuals. So this is your focus. If you've just split up from someone because you need to focus on your life purpose or your career, same thing. If you've split up from someone, it's for a reason. Because a lot of us are being asked to step up and lead now. Transmute those residual emotions and then step up and lead. And then when we do what we do, we get the Ace of Summer. Open your heart to love, the beginning of a new intimate relationship or the rebirth of a current one, the awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual epiphanies. Like, I feel like that's one thing I wanted to mention. My intuition is just off the charts. Like every week, even with all this crap going on, I'm amazed at my ability to remain balanced. And I do that by carrying out my spiritual practices and processing my emotions and seeing the bigger picture. Like I'm just having such clarity during a dark time. And that's how you know when you're in alignment. There's a real test for us to balance our dark and our light and to remain grounded in this time. This is like a spiritual test. So for me, it's like, I know I need to step up and lead more. And then I will be challenged, and the universe will be like, okay, is she ready? Let's see if she's ready. It's just like passing an exam. I've been studying spiritual life for 10 years. Is she ready to, pass into the next stage? Is she ready to do more? Is she ready to be more? Is she ready to receive more? And this could be what's happening for you too. It's like another soul initiation by doing you and being you. So how do we get there? Practicality. This is about your spiritual practices. You need to focus, make a list now of at least 5 spiritual practices you can do to remain in balance. Discrimination equals transformation. Notice where you're being discriminated against. Notice where you give your power away, and notice that any harsh energies towards you is getting you to transmute the dregs of these cycles. Status. Some of you are really needing to step up and lead more too. How can you lead more? Perhaps you need to do that in a partnership. Partner with someone to help and assist you. This is about a rebirth, or some of you could be thinking about having another baby, or you're thinking a lot about a child that you have and you're worrying about them. If they've got gifts too, help enhance them. Talk to them about it. The younger the better. They're like sponges. I wish I had someone teaching me this when I was younger. I would have been so into it. Eccentricity. This came up for me in my reading. I do my readings before I do these, so my energy doesn't interfere too much with these readings. But this is the key this week. Really focus on this. This is like, I did what I've been doing as well for myself, and if you read your own cards, I'm like, okay, what does Spirit want me to know? What do they want me to work on? And I got this card. So this should be our focus for the week. That's really the key. And friendships. I really do feel like this is that Aquarius 11th house energy. Wishes are being fulfilled. Things are being granted. And we're going to get that through the help of friends, mentors, people that these new contracts are being renewed, that they're going to come into our life shortly. We're committing new contracts. And it's really, really, really quite beautiful. So let's get a message from your spirit guides. Just hearing just a little bit more. Push just a little bit more. Do that work just a little bit more. Put some more effort into yourself. Reframe your energy, Walrus. Remain vigilant about the current situation. Pay attention to signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. Ooh, yes. Yes, yes, and more yes. Notice the repeating numbers, look them up, you know. Sometimes when I'm watching a DVD, I'll see, you know, 1818 or 1816 will pop out to me, so I just Google it. And literally, it'll be nail on the head. The message will come through. So advice is stay in the background, chameleon, and adapt to the situation rather than being conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. It's really sitting back and being that Empress energy and attracting, watching, waiting for the signs, and not manipulating, trying to manipulate a situation anymore. Not trying to force it to go your way. It's speaking of like a stubborn boar. Face your problems head on with confidence and courage, and you will emerge victorious. So I feel like this is the cycles that you're currently going through. Remain grounded. See how the boar is on all four legs. Remain grounded. Be a watcher of what's going on in your life. Like you're watching a movie. Your life is a movie, and you're the one watching it. Remain detached from any situations that are currently happening, even if it's good stuff. If it's good stuff, remain detached, because then we've got this space for the universe to come in and show us what we need to be shown. Chimpanzee, use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem or get the answer to your question. So just jot any questions that you have down. And then wait for the answer to come to you, either like clairaudiently or signs, like you overhear a conversation or you're watching a show, and then all of a sudden the theme has the moral of the story that you need. Is quite amazing. So let's see what Archangel Michael has to say. Positive thoughts create positive results. Divine love and wisdom, I call upon you now. This is the prayer, sorry. Divine love and wisdom, I call upon you now. I know that my mind and emotions are eternally and continuously connected to you. I ask my higher self to be aware and conscious of the love and light that is within every person and every situation. Everyone plays a role. Even that deceptive fuck that sabotaged me and maybe had stole my identity and made me lose money. It all plays a role. He's playing a role in my life purpose. You know, so as much as I am angry at him, I thank him as well, because he got me out of a situation I didn't want to be in the first place. So, we know chicken dinner. You know, it's about seeing things differently. You got to transcend those lower emotions, the anger and the distrust and, how could I be so silly? You know, I'm supposed to be an intuitive person, but I got all the warning signs. I had 1,000 red flags and I ignored them, because that's what a lot of us sensitive people do. We're like, no, I don't want to have to move again, or no, I don't want, maybe I'm just imagining it. No, you're not. You're not. So that's where you, like, the indecision comes in. Lean on God and the angels for support. So this is really like calling Archangel Michael. If you're really struggling, and talk to him as many times as you can a day. It says, dear God and angels, I give you this. Briefly describe the situation. Now and completely, I step out of the way and allow divine miracles to shine through everyone and everything involved. Well, that's exactly what we need to do. Which one would it be? And detach from the situation and explore your options. And that's kind of what we were saying before, the detaching, which is hard. So if that's why we need to remain grounded and do our spiritual practices, because it helps us reframe our energy, gets us back into our soul alignment. So it says, Archangel Michael, I ask you to use your flaming sword and cut any attachment to fear or drama so that I may be centered in the knowingness that peace is everywhere within me and this situation. And you can cultivate this peace by yourself. You can transmute any situation or any energy. And lastly, we've got explore your options. It says, dear God, thank you for your wisdom and love, helping me see, understand, and access all of my alternative options. Please guide me in the best decision for my health, happiness, and life's purpose. And so this can be your prayer if you need it. I mean, even if you're like, no, everything's great right now, that's fantastic. You can still ask for support and guidance. We can always have more support and guidance, and just don't get too consumed in the outcome. If you get too consumed in the outcome, you just write 10 lines of, I detach myself from this situation. I am open to the universe creating this situation to be even better than I originally would like or thought. Something like that. That was a bit long-winded, but you know what I mean? Like, just reframe your thoughts. So just jot down any negative emotions and then jot down the opposite. Rescript it. Rescript those words. And you'll see it makes such a difference. So I hope this has helped, guys. Have a really good one. Stay grounded. Take care of your energy. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.